Hey, my name's Sophie, and we're back with the 16 Weeks Coffee Chat video series. Today, I'm joined by Jendi here, and who's going to tell me a bit about her career and education. Thank you so much for your time. And my first question is, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your background and how you got started in your career?
Yeah, so hello, my name is Jendi. I'm currently a sophomore at Stony Brook University, pursuing computer science and psychology. I'm also currently a director of operations at Waffle Hacks. And fun fact, I like to read like translated novels about like reincarnation and isekais. Okay, anyways, going into, I guess, my background and how I got started in tech, um, I feel like I was super lucky. So I moved to New York City when I was in high school, and it was in New York that I found out about a super cool program called Girls Who Code. It's this basically a nonprofit organization aiming toward teaching high school girls how to code. They have them sit down in like a place that's like sponsored. Like I spent like 7 weeks of my summer in 2019 just like learning about some super cool like CS concepts like data science, different like bits and pieces, just getting introduced into the field. And from there I was like, wow, super inspired. like it was something, computer science is something that I never learned about before and from like when I was a kid. So when I left the program, I like wanted to like really learn more about it and like join other like super cool programs like Girls Who Code. So I like applied for like some really cool programs like I think there's Google CSSI, Code with Classy, things like that. And I was able to meet some super cool people there and participate in like a whole bunch of different hackathons. And yeah, that's like how I got into tech. It all started from Girls Who Code. Yeah.
Wow, that's super interesting. And back to your fun fact, I also read those types of comics, so we'll have to talk about those later. But also circling back to your experiences, you mentioned how you were part of Girls Who Code. And so, as someone who is in the women in tech community, are there any resources that you found particularly helpful?
Yeah, so I think what I found most helpful about like the women in tech communities is like really just having the network of people you can reach out to. Like it's like a really comforting feeling knowing that if you have a question, you can literally just reach out to anyone there. Like you can just like send something on a Facebook group or like send something into a Discord chat, things like that. Like that feeling of like, oh, I have people that I can reach out to and like people I can ask questions to if I'm confused, things like that. So I found that like really helpful. And it's also super cool when they post like really cool opportunities and programs that someone who's just getting started in the tech field can like get a head start on.
Yeah, for sure, especially with, I guess the gender divide in CS. I think those resources are very interesting and helpful. So in your jumping around now to your previous co-op terms or internships, what did your day-to-day responsibilities look like?
Yeah, okay. So I was a Amazon feature engineer last summer, and I was basically based in Seattle, Washington. It was my first internship. It was hybrid, uh, and my day-to-day responsibilities. Um, let's see. Well, off the top of my head, I remember just participating in a lot of meetings. Even as like a software engineer intern, it's not just all code. It's like you're literally like talking to people in your team, like talking through like, oh, like this is what I plan on doing, and like really like conversing with everyone to make sure you have the right idea on how to approach things. A large majority of my like the beginning of my internship I spent it designing a document for like what tool I was going to be like developing later on. Like, I think my internship was like 12 weeks. I spent like 6 weeks just working on like the onboarding through the internship and actually like um, designing how I'm figuring out how I was going to like approach coding something. And then the last remaining part was when I, code monkeyed it, like really went in. And yeah, I don't know that like, yeah, day-to-day responsibilities, basically meetings, code, Googling.
That sounds actually pretty fun. So in your, I guess, software engineer position, and you mentioned you participated in a lot of hackathons, are there any technologies that you would say were the most valuable to you?
I think the technologies that I found most like important and helpful to me was starting off like web development, things like that. For hackathons specifically, I remember just uh, like learning how like when I first started doing hackathons, I didn't really know what the heck I was doing. So the way I started was just like, start building some really simple websites, things like that. And then like gradually it like develops into like more like interesting projects. So like the technologies we use for that is just like, simple like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. In my internship, I think it really varies for people, but the technologies that I use were like predominantly Java, which I learned in school, and AWS, so cloud computing, things like that.
Well, thank you. That's super helpful. Is there anything you find you enjoy most working in your field? Or just like any activities that are the most fun in your workplace or stuff like that?
I think what I enjoy most about like being in tech is like the idea of like you can like literally have an idea and you can bring it to life by simply coding or designing it, and it has like the capability of like solving a problem for people around the world. So it's like sort of like a superpower kind of in a way, because I feel like as long as you're imaginative, creative, and like persistent enough, like you can really just like impact a lot of people. I think that's what I really like about uh, working in the tech field. It's like that possibility of like directly impacting people and helping them. I find that really cool.
Well, that's thank you. And in the working in the tech field, do you find that you have a very good sense of work-life balance? Or if so, or if not, how do you unwind at the end of every day?
Mm, okay. Work-life balance. Let's see. During my internship, I spent a lot of I think I like did have like a really good like work-life balance. I was really lucky to be able to be in like a city where there was like a ton of other interns. So it was like really fun getting to network and meet with people outside of work hours. And like uh, I remember sort of like going to work every day with like my friends who are also interning at Amazon. So it was sort of like, oh, you're going to school together, like, but it's like you're not going to school, you're going to work, and it's like fun. And then you like leave work with your friends afterwards. It's like I found that really fun for me last year because it was hybrid. But wait, I lost track of the question. What was your question again?
Just like also how you unwind at the end of every day.
Mm, I literally just go home and start reading novels. That's what I like to do. If it's like a really stressful day, I like to like go shower, get comfortable and like go sit and like lay down in bed and like start reading.
I feel that. I do that too. Um,
Sometimes.
yeah, about me a bit. So I am currently on my first co-op term kind of in tech at TD. And as a new hire to a company, I was kind of just wondering if you have any advice or tips on how to make an impact within the team.
Okay, yeah. I think something that I did that really helped me like get comfortable with my team members when I first started my internship was like setting up like one-on-one calls with them and like sort of like introducing myself and like saying like, oh, like connecting with them and like telling them like what you're interested in, like things like that. I think as a new hire to the team, you offer a lot, really. I heard this a lot from my managers and like some of the more experienced people I talked to. They were like, yeah, you newbies, you bring up a lot of ideas and like creativity. Like it's like not just like I think when a lot of interns like get into their like, well, for a lot of people when like they start their internships, it's like very new for them. They have like no idea what's going on most of the time, so they're afraid to like speak up or just like say like what they have in mind. And like what I learned from last year was just that like you have a lot of potential. You bring a lot to the team, just like with your different experiences. So you know, just speak your mind to
Got
have an
it.
impact.
Got it. We'll do that. So, um, and kind of branching off of that, do you have any advice or tips as to how I could maybe plan for my school, like future classes, and for my career in the future? Specifically, if I were to try to pursue design or development.
I think for a lot of schools, they offer like specific courses, right? And I think it's really important, like early on, to sort of have like some sort of idea of like what you like within tech. So, for example, for me, I really enjoy the intersection of like tech designs and humans. So that's why I'm also majoring in psychology, along with a specialization in human computer interaction. So there's like specific courses within my university that are like specifically like designed toward like helping you like within that field. So I think like as long as you're able to like know what you like and dislike, like there's like a lot of courses out there that you can find super fun and can help you in the future as you like go into the work world. Mm, yeah. Also, it really helps to like uh, have different programs to be in and like I think it's like nice to sort of have experience in the way of where you um, know what you like. So for example, like sorry, this doesn't make sense, but what I found out about myself was that I really liked design and like the creative aspect of tech because I did a whole bunch of hackathons. That's what I realized. Like whenever I started a new project with the group, like I really enjoyed the like prototyping stage of it, designing what like a website would look like, things like that. So it's like, you know, if you get more hands-on like with your with technology and things like that, you can have a better chance of like understanding what you like and dislike. Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes that sense. Thanks for that piece of advice. I think you mentioned that you are studying CS and psychology. That sounds like you're pretty busy. So, are there any particular strategies you use to really balance work, I guess your like work life with your extracurricular activities and your mental health and things like that?
I like to use Notion and like a Pomodoro technique. So Notion is like where I basically keep track of like all my assignments, exams, like upcoming due dates, things like that. And it's like really helpful to just like have the ability to open it up on your laptop or your phone and like see like, oh, I have a quiz tomorrow. I need to study for that, like that. Um, and for Pomodoro, I like to set aside like specific times to do schoolwork along with extracurricular work. So, for example, like I would take like 30 minutes doing schoolwork and then 10 minutes for extracurricular work if like I'm on part of different clubs and things like that.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. I see we're almost coming up on time and I want to be respectful of your time. So kind of as a final question, do you have any further advice to our viewers who are looking to break into the field of technology or just any final words in general?
Uh, I think my number one advice is to really find a community where you enjoy talking to the people in it. I find that it's like a really comforting and like nice feeling to have just being able to like talk to people and like know that you belong. Um, I think that can like really help you as you move forward in the tech field. And yeah, there's a lot of resources online. You just gotta Google.
Got it. Thank you so much for your time here today. Really appreciate all the advice you've given me. It's been super enlightening. Yeah, so thanks again for taking the time to talk with me today. I had a great time. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. Bye.
You can listen.